You're not rooting for your own team.
You can't walk out on the set, bro. That's the cut anyway. Top 5 NBA players.
I can go 6 Lakers in my stuff.
LeBron at 1.
I gotta go with King.
Jordan at 2.
Magic.
I'm gonna take Kobe.
Kareem.
My small forward, I'll take Latrell Sprewell.
This guy.
Sportsmanlike Conduct Podcast.
Welcome back to Sportsmanlike Conduct Podcast. I'm your host, Cassius Clee, and we are back in the studios of Industry City, Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn.
What's up, Onyx? How you doing, bro?
Good, man.
Brother O.
Yo, I'm here, man.
Rudeness.
Yeah. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Smash the button one time.
Yes, sir. Big Chris.
Yes, what's good?
Dirk Dash, how you doing, bro?
Good, brother.
Big Joe. Today we have a special guest, Danny Landberg, high school coach for Erasmus football. Yes, sir. 22 seasons coaching. You recently got an award, recognized as the Tri-State Coach of the Year. I think Robert Saleh gave it to you, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. Now we're going to start from the beginning. How you got here is I went to junior high with Jonathan. We were in the jazz band together, and he connected us. And you also went to Ditmas Junior High School.
Yes, I did.
That's crazy.
I'm a lot younger than John, though. He's an older man.
So you grew up in Flatbush.
Yep.
You went to Midwood High School.
Yep.
I went to Madison, by the way. That was
I'm sorry.
yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
We had some battles over there. I
We
think.
did.
You know
It was
what I'm
a
saying?
battle of Bedford.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But 5 years in a row, champions, PSAL, 4A's, right?
Yes.
Why don't you tell us how you got into coaching, being from Brooklyn? How did it all turn out for you?
So, growing up in Flatbush, you know, it wasn't easy. You know, being pretty much the minority in my neighborhood, you know, you had to keep up with everything. And I was not the easiest kid dealing with, as my mother always reminded me. And I kind of felt, you know, like I had to get my aggression out, so football became my escape. And football became a place I was most comfortable with. You know, when you talk about what team means and sports and all the things that come with, you know, coaching as far as what they try to preach, I really bought into that stuff, and it meant a lot to me. So when I left off to college and I came back to college, I went to go visit my old high school and watch Midwood practice in the spring, and you know, I found myself wanting to help because I saw mistakes being made that weren't being fixed. So I went out of my way to kind of help kids that were making those mistakes. I was in sales at the time for some company in Long Island, you know, because in college, well, the kids I was with in college was always about making money. So I kind of bought into that whole deal about, you know, let's make this money. And I found myself in a place in sales where I didn't really like who I was, because you kind of start feeling like you're lying to people to get your commission, because you're always worried about making your quota. And I didn't like myself about that. And I started thinking about when I was helping those kids that it felt more pure. And being that my dad was in the Board of Education, and I thought about pension and summers off, it wasn't a bad gig.
Summer's off.
You know?
Summer's off is always
Summers
good.
off is not bad, you know? So,
No doubt.
you know, I felt like right. And I remember like yesterday, I was with a bunch of rich kids that I was hanging out from before, and we were out in Vegas and living, you know, we was living the good life, having a great week on New Year's. And I was at a crossroads in my life where I didn't know what I wanted to do to keep on coaching. Did I want to take a head coaching job at Erasmus, or do I want to move on and do something different and make more money? And I didn't know what I wanted to do. And out of nowhere, I felt it was a sign when I put on the plane and put the movie on. It was Remember the Titans. So when I saw Remember the Titans, it really kind of drew to me, because it wasn't just football. It was black and white, you know? So for me, it was like, all right, I got to do this. So I had applied for the Erasmus job. I'm the only one that wanted the job. And, you know, it was off and running from there.
Remember the Titans? That's in my top 5 movies
Yeah.
of all time. Anyway.
Absolutely.
Denzel. Yeah. All right, so you went to Midwood High School.
Yeah.
We got a Midwood alum right here. So.
Yep.
Let's go.
Well, yeah, you graduated? You want to put that out there?
Did you graduate?
Wow, that's
I'm just saying, I don't
It's
know.
real personal, man.
That's not my question. So. This guy wasn't born yet. So.
Lucky you.
So, did you play for Midwood?
Yes, sir.
What position?
Starting running back.
Nice.
I had to wait till John left.
Oh, yeah?
Took over when John left.
Yo, John, you taught him how to play? When I went to Midwood and Madison were like,
Yeah, they had beef.
we had some problems.
100%.
We had some problems.
Probably still that way, right?
I remember when they would come and they would like spray paint our field.
Yeah.
Like the big M, they would like make it yellow or black.
Yeah,
I remember I used to talk to a girl that went to Madison. I went to her house. I had my jersey on. It was like dudes waiting outside for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yo, everybody used to talk to Madison girls.
Oh, Madison had all little girls. Right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Right. So I read 5 championships in a row, right? You guys go to London now. How was that experience? And what was the politics of that, trying to get out there with the board ed?
We're a part of the Nike team. We're sponsored with Nike. And, you know, they asked us if we wanted to go to represent New York and Nike and American football to go out there to England because they have an NFL academy there based off of kids across different countries from 16 to 19 years old. So when they asked me to go, I was like, yeah, absolutely I want to go. It's just like a bucket list type of trip.
Right.
But the logistics behind it was insane. The things that we had to do to put the whole thing together, especially the passports, was in a 2-month span was insanity.
Oh, I was about to ask that. How long
Yeah,
they gave
it was
you? 2
crazy.
months?
I was lucky enough to pull somebody in that was really, you know, close and dear to my heart that helped me make this thing happen. And she, you know, and they really helped me be more organized than I could ever think about being. You know,
Yeah,
but it was figuring out medicals and allergies and, you know, waivers and, you know, and going out there, we had to do community service, which was, you know, I enjoyed doing very much so. We did a culture day, seeing things all around, like, you know, Westminster Abbey and, you know, King's Tower and Big Ben and London Bridge. It was amazing. It was amazing. I'll never forget that. They'll be up there in the top things I remember about coaching football.
Did you guys see the Queen?
She died, man.
I guess you didn't see it there.
Dug her up,
She
man.
died, bro.
That would be a no, bro. Yo, my man.
We saw a
really-
picture of her, man.
We
guys
went
win
to
out
Buckingham Palace.
Yeah, did you
And-
win?
Yes,
excuse me?
that's
Did you
the
win the
question.
We
game?
did not win. It was not even a closely fair fight. Not
Really?
even close. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Y'all played what? NFL Academy?
We
was
played the
name?
NFL Academy in Tottenham Stadium, where they played the games out there. Was we went to see the Bills versus Jacksonville like 2 days before, and the stadium was immaculate.
Yeah, that's a
Beautiful.
new one, too. That's
Gorgeous, 56,000 seats.
Wow.
But it was like, it was not fair. I'll just say that. I'll just say that.
I'm going to try and read between those lines.
You know, but it was something I would never forget, and I would do it again.
Right.
Oh, definitely. So I wanted to go,
Yeah.
and I wasn't even playing.
I actually, you know how they have the guards there that, you know, they don't move for nobody.
Yeah.
The beef
I
eater.
actually saw one of my kids make him smirk. One of my kids made him laugh. I never thought that way. I would see that in my life. I'm like, what? Started making jokes and we laughed.
Oh yeah, that's right. They're not supposed to.
They're
win.
not supposed to. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a definite
Huh?
win.
You got a straight face?
Yeah.
He couldn't hold it. He couldn't hold it in.
That's crazy. So, undefeated this year,
Yep.
undefeated last year.
Yep.
Who's the toughest team right now besides Erasmus? I don't want to get you in trouble.
He ain't gonna say it.
Who is the toughest team outside of Erasmus?
Yes, sir.
Nobody.
He ain't gonna say it. Come on now.
We can only be our own worst enemy.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't worry about us.
Exactly.
That's a great answer.
All right, so
Now, those,
wasn't gonna do that.
those warm-up teams, do you play like, before the PSL.
Those teams, well, we played non-league games out of state. We're trying to get to the national level. But our problem is that we are not allowed to start until really late in August based on the state. And everybody we're playing is allowed to start a month ahead of time.
Yeah.
So it's almost like an unfair fight, but we choose to do it because we want that notoriety. So we're going to continue to do that, and we're still looking all the time. We want to be, we went to, like 2 years ago, we played the number 8 team in the country, St. Joe's in Philly. And they started whenever, but we started 8 days before the game, and we lost 14-7. So we're down to play all these games. We want all the smoke, but, it's kind of like we're fighting with one arm behind our back. But we're going to continue to do it, though.
So what's your rank right now?
I have no idea what our rank is, to be honest with you.
Yeah. That's pretty good, though. 14-7, 8 days before.
Yeah.
All right.
That's coaching right there.
Yeah, that's a sign of a good program.
What's your major principle you teach?
Love, man. It's cultural love. Like everything that we preach and teach is about, making you a better man. And, like I always tell a kid, if you don't listen to me, you cannot call me coach. Call me Danny. Because you're not letting me do what I do, And I had to give them the definition of coach because what I learned from somebody else was that coach came from, I think it was sometime in the late 1700s or 1800s when, you'd have a driver pick up these rich people in a stagecoach and take them to their destination. So the word coach became, I'm going to bring you to this destination.
Okay.
So if as a coach, I'm here to help bring you to the best place you could be for yourself.
For sure.
And if you don't listen to me, you cannot call me coach. For sure. But I'm blessed enough to have a great staff. I have a lot of great men that work with me. We have a deep staff, a lot of guys that want to be a part of us. So we have a lot of men invested in these young men's lives.
Yeah, the reason why I asked that, because everybody's, for the most part, especially at that age, they're for themselves.
Yeah.
With all this social media stuff. And I mean, you can use it to your advantage, but I just like to hear that with coaching because it's hard to get kids to buy into what you're trying to preach and teach.
And that's pretty much my hardest job as the head coach is building that culture to a place where they buy in. Yeah. So that it's constant, like Jedi mind tricks, I like to say, constantly.
Yeah. What about these crazy parents whose son is going to the league from ninth grade?
I can't even start yet, right?
It's you try to manage their expectations, and you want to be brutally honest as well, but you want to do it in a way that's it's warming, but it's not easy. Like I don't really remember enjoying a win without having some complaint afterwards.
My son didn't play.
That's how it goes.
There's always something, and you know what? You want to be as honest as possible, and like you showing favoritism to this kid. I'm like, listen, I favor winning. Yeah. I don't really care who does it. So we just want to just do the best we can and be as honest as best we can be.
It's the parents are getting crazy now. I coach baseball. My son's 16. He plays for the Bonnies, by the way. I think you let us use your gym to practice.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
Thank you. Appreciate that. But yeah, these parents, the kid's the next Jeter. And it's like, it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
And the mothers, no disrespect to women, but the mothers are really,
Oh, they're worse than the fathers.
the mothers are getting intense, man.
You're not playing my child.
But you know what they do, right?
They'll run on the field and
They drop their kids off because we teach younger, so it becomes babysitting. But they don't see how their kid practices, how they practice.
Right.
And so
like
now
they
they
ain't playing.
just, they playing in the grass, playing in dirt, and wonder why they don't get in the game. Like, come on.
What's your ties to Rutgers? This is what they're saying. Erasmus is the pipeline to Piscataway.
Well, they used to say we were the pipeline to Ohio State.
Okay.
So years ago, we had a young man named Wayne Morgan, and I brought him up to you off the camera, and he was our top guy, All-American, and he went there for a visit to meet Greg Schiano, the head coach.
He's an excellent coach, too.
He's a better man than he is a coach.
Yeah.
And he was in his office with them, and I'm outside, and I decided to just storm in the room. And he's like, who is this walking into my room right now, not even addressing me? And I said, you have to offer him right now. He was taken back by that, but he never forgot me. And later on, he became the coach at Ohio State as an assistant. But while he was there, Chris Ash, who was at Ohio State before him, left and took over Rutgers. And I had sent him a couple of guys. We had a kid named Deontay Roberts, local kid from Flatbush. We had a kid, Christian Isian, who's now a rookie in the NFL, started for Tampa Bay versus Detroit yesterday. And a kid, Kesson Abraham. And then it became more and more and more. But it was more or less we were helping build those guys locally because no one else was going to take a chance on them. When Shiano got there, I already knew who he was as a man. And I knew that he was a righteous person, that I could trust my kids in his hands. So it started to become a thing where, I would not force a kid to go there. I would just show him what they have to offer, and you figure it out for yourself, and they would figure it out for themselves and see how it is. So we just sent another kid there recently, they're recruiting some guys right now as well as we speak. So it's just been, I'm the type of person that I don't really care about the next 4 years. I care about the next 40 years.
Gotcha.
And I want to know what these schools can do for my kids after football, because it's going to end for everybody.
Yeah, sure.
And when it does end, you're really young. And if you play in the league, you're still going to be really young when you're done too. Yeah. And I'm looking for a 6-figure situation to help them become something in life.
Sure. Nice.
So I know a place like Rutgers, who's connected to New York City, to help me get a job for our kids and become something. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
If they're good enough, then that'll take care of itself.
Yeah.
But Maryland, you went there for sports management and medicine.
Yep.
And so, how many players have you gotten to Maryland?
None.
None?
None.
I saw you take a picture with some Michigan coach too.
So I sent the kid to Michigan. He ended up transferring out. It was Harbaugh. I went there for the visit. I also took the kid Wayne Morgan there back in 2010. See, we always felt like New York City. Kids in New York City were never getting offers in football.
Definitely not.
But I would tell coaches, I told Urban Meyer this. Urban Meyer and I became close guys. And I said this to him. I said, look, everybody wants to come to New York City for basketball players. Yeah. Why? You guys have great athletes. I said, okay. We have great athletes because kids are playing basketball. Once the youth level started making more and more programs in New York City to play football as far as compared to when I was a kid, now all the kids learning how to play football, they're still athletes. So I told a person like Urban Meyer, I said, you want a tough lineman, go to Ohio. You want one of these West Coast, killers like the Polynesian kids in the football field, go to California. You want an athlete, come see us in New York City. Gotcha. Because now they learned the game of football, and now we're ready to send them off to college because they know what they're doing.
Sure.
Like Curtis Samuels, every time he plays, he's like a big deal.
Sure. So I know of Kurt since he's 7 years old. He's always been special. They would dress him in the right clothes special, like he was special. When I first met him, he had a nice big earring and a Feli velvet suit, and he's always fly.
All right.
But he was a regular kid. He was 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", ended up being 5'11", but he was a regular sized kid. The only kids in New York City that were going to college were these monsters like 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". Now we have a regular kid from, I think he was Kingsbridge Projects, and now he makes it to a place like on Ohio State.
Yes.
That for us was the big change for our program.
He was a big deal at Ohio State. Not like he just went.
He won.
You didn't see him. He was a big deal.
He won that Michigan overtime game.
Yeah.
Good for him, man.
Yeah.
Curtis Samuel.
You ever think about going to the other level? College?
I do. I fight it all the time. When that time comes, that time will come, But I still have unfinished business here. I think things will manifest for itself when that day comes. I'll get there.
We still need you.
I really enjoy the kids I'm with now, I really love them.
Probably less politics, as they call it.
Yeah.
So when we grew up in the 80s, right? If you had an Erasmus jersey on,
yeah, for any sport,
it was like a gang. Like they saw you coming down the street with an Erasmus football jersey, you're like, all right, we know not to mess with this dude. It was worse than the Crips and the Bloods are right now.
It was Erasmus Hell.
Yeah, exactly.
Erasmus was tough,
man.
man.
Seriously.
It was like one of the, like all that you see in New York City schools. That was like one of the worst.
If not
Worst, yeah, if not the worst, but it was.
Him and Jeff. Jeff probably was number 2.
What's crazy is I still have to fight
Shout
that
out to
stigma
Jeff.
today. Even
Yeah.
when when kids want to come to us and we want them to come to us, like we still have to fight off that aura, which doesn't exist. Like it's a
Yeah.
great campus, it's
Yeah,
a
it
good
does.
school.
Yeah, no,
you know?
that's- yeah.
No, but people don't realize what it actually is. Like
It's us, it's the parents of these kids, because we
you
knew
get
how
caught
it
up
was
with that
back
whole
in-
stigma.
yeah.
I can understand, but like our kids love it there. Not like it, they love it there.
Guys got like 3 swimming pools in there.
It's his own. It's his,
Huge.
Yes,
yeah, it's his own little campus, man.
The campus is gorgeous.
it is. Erasmus, special ed. I know you
Yes.
out there, man.
Yep.
Did the video? Were you
Yep.
out there for the video?
Nah.
No.
Oh man, everybody claimed they were out there for the video. Man. I was there when I wasn't.
That's great, man. NFL, you been watching?
I have been.
I'm not going to ask your favorite team because I already know New York all day.
Right.
So, as you can see, I'm a Cowboy fan. What do you think the Cowboys' problems are?
Man, that's deep-rooted stuff right there.
We only got like 10 minutes left, man.
Trick question.
Matter of fact, I wore Tony Dorsett's number in high school. That's why I wore it, because of him.
Yes.
You know, I don't know what it is, man. I just got to keep management out of it. Let coaches be, like Bill Parcells once said, if you want me to make the meal, let me buy the groceries.
Correct.
So I'm not really sure what it is, but I'm not touching that one. I don't want nothing to do with that.
I just thought maybe you had some answers for that.
No answers.
Nobody's got answers for
Nobody got
y'all.
no answers about that, bro.
You don't have
He
to
said
answer,
that
Sway.
there is one answer for that.
No, you just back.
Fire your general manager, who just happens to be your owner.
Yeah.
Yikes. What do you think is the biggest assumption that people make about coaching that they get wrong?
What is the biggest thing people get wrong about the assumptions of coaching?
Yeah.
That their kid is going to be in the NFL.
I mean, I think that they think that we have more power than we do in certain things. Mm-hmm. Like when you talk about the Cowboys, right? I mean, players got to play. Players got to play. You can call whatever you want to call, but at the end of the day, I think that people think that we have this magic wand to make things happen. I always say, for me, coaching is really, really tough because my success is based on everybody else's. Mm-hmm. And that's not easy because you're managing not just, talent and learning plays, you're managing what's going on off the field in their lives. Like every single time something happens in somebody's life or in their parents' life or their sister's life, you have to manage all those things.
Yeah.
So it's ridiculously harder than what people understand. And it's a thankless job.
Yes, it is.
It'll always be a thankless job.
I have a unique, I'll say, relationship with like my basketball coach from high school. A lot of the things that you said, like, they struck a nerve, not from a personal standpoint, but just from a, like, looking back on it. What would you say to a kid that, like, what you call it, like, checks out because they don't like the man as opposed to the coach? Because I think that is a tough relationship that I had with my high school coach. Like,
I think your coach has to recognize that and find a way to reach you to make you feel more comfortable with him.
yeah.
Unless you're such a problem that there's nothing he can do about it and it's time to go.
Because I think the moment I checked out, like I still love the game, but the moment I checked out from him, like kind of being a coach, is I think I had a situation with my grandmother, and then like I had to tell him like, hey, like I can't make it to practice, and I get it, like the whole motivational side of it, but he literally like looked at me and he said, hey, like what's more important, this team or your grandmother? It's like kind of. You can't get me to wake up on a Saturday morning after saying some shit like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I got you.
I'm still come, but it's just like, I don't feel like it's my job to now rectify what damage you did. You feel me? I could be wrong though. Like,
I would say this much. And I'm not a person to toot my own horn at all, but I think that I've been open-minded enough and lucky enough to recognize what it takes to be successful today's world, as opposed to what he was acting. I might have acted like that 20 years ago, that old school mentality. Throw that in the garbage. So I've learned that to be successful, I have to make you as comfortable as possible. I have to make sure that everything in your family's life is possible, as cool as possible, so I can get a clear-minded kid to listen to me. I need to tell you I love you, whether it's words or showing you affection in some other way, by doing something for you, making you understand. I need to make you believe in me, and I need you to feel that I have your back. And I don't think coaches, a lot of people don't understand how important that is, especially today, because we live in a very, very insecure world since the internet.
Sure.
And I think it's really important that we express, even as men, like when we say that we love you, like I have a thing at my players, I tell them, I said I love you, and I love you back. I love you back. I love you too, because I don't think we express that enough, because a lot of us didn't get it enough when we were kids. So we understand what we were missing. So we want to make sure that they get that as well. And once we feel that way, they feel free.
For sure.
So that's what's missing probably.
What was the all right? With all you've been coaching for 22 years. What's the, I won't say the worst, but what's a story you can recall that you had to like grab a kid from here or do something way beyond your job for a player of yours or a student? Plenty.
I mean, we've had kids get locked up. We've had to help kids get lawyers and help them with their situations. I remember one story I could tell you back in 2003, maybe. I had a kid call me up Saturday morning, real early in the morning. He's like, Coach, we're getting evicted right now. They won't let us in the crib. And I'm like, what happened? So he asked me to come down to his house, and when I got there, the marshal was kicking him out, and I didn't understand what was going on. And it turned out that his mother had dementia, and she lost her job. They could no longer pay the rent, and I figured this all out while it was going on in the heat of the moment. And he just wanted to get back inside to get his team picture from our dinner that we just had, a banquet, and his trophies, and they wouldn't let him in. And I ended up physically getting into a tussle with the
marshals?
The marshal, just to bang the door open to let him go get his stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember that like it was yesterday, because he called me not long ago to come to talk to him, because he's having a problem with his wife, and he wanted to talk about how to deal with her, because you remember that I was able to help him then. What can I give him some advice on today? But like I remember it was like yesterday. I'm like, I could have gone to jail, get into a fight with a marshal physically over there just to get a team picture back, just to get back into his apartment.
So you're just a natural therapist, aren't you?
Nah, I don't know. Listen,
What's
man. You make an oath when you tell these kids all the things that you tell them what they should be doing. What are you doing for them?
100%.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of what people don't understand. They think that we have all these talented kids, but we really go beyond our oath as far as what we really care about these kids. We can't save them all, and we're not perfect at all, but I'm just saying, like, we do our best to give them our best.
Sure.
Because we only got 4 years of them.
That was actually my next question. What do you call it? Do you ever feel like, has there ever been like players where you just like, you couldn't like do nothing? Like there was nothing you could do to help? And like,
Yeah.
how did that affect you?
We always say you can't save them all, and it sucks because, it doesn't end up well for them, Some kids, they don't make it. Some kids end up in places you don't want to be, and some kids don't make it, live.
Mm-hmm.
You can't save them all, but, like...
Does that hurt any less? Or because it's one thing to accept that reality, but...
I had a kid die a couple of years ago, and he never left New York City when he should have, and that hurt a great deal. I can't live with them past high school. I can't live with them to make them do what they got to do at home. We just do the best we could do.
You have any former players as your assistants?
Well, one was Wayne Morgan, who played for me, and he went to Syracuse. He's coaching with us now. We have a couple of guys that want to start joining us as we speak right now. I'm in the middle of actually helping somebody get a job with us right now that played for me, that went to Stony Brook only about 7 years ago. So, yeah, I mean, we want to build it so it's like a family tradition forever.
Yeah, that's great.
How many players keep in contact with?
I mean, I get calls. I just got a call from a kid from like 20 years ago who's in Buffalo. I speak to a lot of kids, just to check in. They call me just to check in. it's actually hard for me to speak to them for a long time because it's emotional. Like you remember the good old days with those kids, and they're grown men, and you know, those are good times that passed.
Yeah. Makes you proud when you have kids at a certain age and then they leave you and they become men. And you're
Well, I
like,
love
wow.
homecoming because when they all come back, it's great to see them.
Nice.
That's great, man. Hopefully, we'll be invited to homecoming this year.
100%. You have an invitation right now.
Who's your first game against?
I don't
you
know. I don't know.
Nah,
yet.
they'll do
I
that.
just
We're
checked
working
it
on
out.
it. We're working on it.
Make it Madison.
Make it matter.
Just played them. We played them this year, man. You know.
Nah, that
We used to go. I know growing up, we used to go play football at Millwood Field or sneak into Brooklyn College. We
Yep.
cut the fence and go.
Yep.
Yo, damn. That's
I mean,
old.
he
Good
cut
old
the
days.
fence and we used to go.
Got
used to go
snitching,
playing.
man.
No doubt.
Yeah, that used to be good times, man.
Yeah.
Tackle with no equipment on.
Yep.
Coming home
And that M used to be concrete.
I got scars to prove it. Yep.
Yeah, that M in the middle of the field, it's like they painted it with cement.
Yeah,
Yep.
good times, man. Yo, tackle with no equipment.
Yo, every
had
Saturday
no
we was doing
equipment?
that.
No equipment.
I play with equipment. Yo.
Nah, man. Not in New York City. You ain't
I
getting
did.
equipment.
Building three Cowboys, Marlboro Projects. We all had equipment.
Well, that was organized. We
I
weren't
don't know how
organized.
we had it, but I know I had a Dallas helmet.
You had a Dallas Cowboy help?
Yeah. Shout out to Marlboro.
That was like the
that's
Skyhawks and Hurricanes.
I'm telling you, we all had equipment. I don't know how. I don't remember how we had it, but we all had it.
Yo, good for you.
Maybe it was donations from, I don't know, Lafayette or something, but we always had it.
True. Danny Landberg, thanks for coming, man. Appreciate
you
this,
guys.
man.
Got anything else messages you want to get across? Because I'm still thinking about playing again.
You want to play again? Come down to practice.
Come on, all right.
Thanksgiving's a great practice. So alumni come down, they come get dressed up a little bit, they catch it, they catch
Yeah.
the booms. You know, it's a good time.
Nobody gets hurt, hopefully.
Yes.
Listen, they're not. I don't got to worry about them being eligible. They ain't got to be healthy.
They grown men.
You know, but yeah, I appreciate you guys having me. You know,
Yeah, you see, you
Yes.
got 70 scholarships and counting, man. Thank you for helping out the
Especially
community
the
in
Flatbush,
Flatbush.
Brooklyn
Yes,
area.
yes.
I appreciate
Brooklyn all
it. That's what it's
day.
all about, man. It's all
I
about
was gonna
the
say,
next
'cause
level.
definitely New York City football gets
Absolutely.
shortchanged.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
no doubt about
Everything
that.
is basketball here.
Well, I hope we change that because we,
Yes.
football is a different level now. And
Yeah, 5 in a row. You might be the Bill Belichick of PSAL, man.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
You don't want to be called Bill right now.
I don't know. I'll take the compliment, but
How much in total have you won?
6.
6?
Five in a row.
Yeah,
Crazy.
5 in a row.
We
is bananas.
thought we had a shot, but COVID got in the way. That would have made
Yikes.
it 6 in a row.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Do you have players in the NFL right now?
Yeah, before you said we got 3 of them right now. We got Christian Izzian, who plays for Tampa Bay, an undrafted rookie, only 5'8", starting right now at nickel. We got
He
a
had 2
receiver.
picks in the first 2 games.
Yeah, he was playing. He's unbelievable right now. I just sent his little brother. He just got partial scholarship over to American International in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
We got Curtis Samuel, of course, with the Washington Commodores. He was drafted by Carolina Panthers.
Yep.
He's on his 2nd contract. He's about to get his 3rd contract. He's killing it right now.
Yeah,
Another
he's
bad
pretty good.
decision by us.
And we got a young man, Sean Ryan, who's 6'4", but I knew him when he was 4'4", you know, and he's playing on the practice squad for Baltimore Ravens. I mean, he's having a great time too, doing well. But you know, we got a young man right now who's at Ohio State, who's hopefully going to be in the league this coming draft right now. His name is Matt Jones.
Nice, man.
Plays center and guard. You know, he's a gentle giant, Jamaican from Brownsville in Crown Heights.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and he's a great kid, and he's about to be next.
Yes. Yo, this is great to hear. When we get together, we talk about that's one of the topics. Yo, Erasmus just won 5 in a row. They just went to London. That's a big story.
Yeah,
Coming from
before we even
Flatbush.
knew that this was going to even be possible.
We always trying to outdo ourselves every year. I don't know how we. I mean, say what are we gonna do next? Go to Mars? I don't know what to do next. You know,
That's,
we'll figure it out, right?
yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
One more question. Did you see BSI, like the documentary?
I did.
What did you think about that?
That's the funniest thing ever.
You know what's crazy? He called me looking for a game. I hung up right away. Like I got nervous. I think it was him. I don't know.
Yeah.
He had 21-year-olds on his team, man.
That's ridiculous.
That bugged me out. it scared me like that an individual could do something like to that level.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like you cannot play with kids' lives. These lives, you know, because if that's my kid, you know, something you gotta get done.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
But I don't know what to make of that. Like I get scared of my own shadow when it comes to, you know, to make sure kids are all in a good place and stuff like that. But,
Do you know of anything or a similar story or a bad story with other coaches and teams and stuff like that?
man, I'm not commenting on nobody.
Yeah. Don't throw nobody in the shit. Yeah.
You know.
Scott,
You know better how we were raised. Man.
I don't want you to tell specific schools.
Stitches and get stitches.
Yo, that guy was playing.
This guy's not Cat Williams, man. He's not good.
One of the kids was in that BS was playing with a torn ACL.
Yeah.
Played like 2 games with a torn ACL, man. And got a national televised game.
Now one of them got like a scholarship, but then they realized that he was tied to the school. They took that shit back.
Yeah, he didn't have, the grades wasn't right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't have enough credits.
I got one more question for you.
Go ahead.
How much of a role do you play in where a kid goes to college? Do you sit down with parents and you guys collectively make that decision?
That's a great question. I used to be very, very much involved, and I am differently now. I would always have, like, I'd build this relationship with the coaches and the staff, and I would say what's best for them because what I know about them. Now I just present all the facts. I'll give them an opinion, but I no longer want to be involved that deeply. I want them to be able to figure it out for themselves, so to speak. But like, the problem is there's not a lot of real honest people out there. And you know, at the end of the day, I tell our kids, you're in the best time of your life. We're gonna love you and have a good time. When you go to college, it's business. These guys gotta win or they're out the door fired. I'm not sure how well invested they're gonna be in you. That's why when you asked me before why I'm sending kids to certain schools is because we've developed a relationship with them that they don't wanna let us down because it's become very kind of like intimate and sacred, the relationship that we know we can trust each other and tell each other the truth about each other. So I keep sending kids to certain schools because, you know, we know that they're gonna give us an honest, you know, support system. So that's a lot of what it is about.
Yeah, great work, man. Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Yeah, keep it up too.
Pause.
Pause.
All right, man. Gil, we see you. We see you in the season, man. First game.
No doubt, you guys right.
All right, man.
We're gonna interview after championship number 6 in a row.
Let's hope so.
You just put it on. You just
That's gonna happen, man.
You got free skybox seats.
Nice.
When do they play the championships now?
So originally, when we first started making it was Yankee Stadium. And then the Yankees kind of like cut it off once COVID happened for whatever reason. Then it's been at various high schools. But I've always wanted, because growing up, when I watched the state championship, when I was a kid, when I fell in love with high school football in New York was it was always at Midwood Field.
Yeah.
And when it was at Midwood Field, it was packed like you'd think it was a Super Bowl.
They had the big stands, Midwood Field.
Correct. So that's actually why I went there. Now we were lucky that I finally got that in where we played at Midwood Field this past year. And we were lucky enough to win. And it was just like I needed it to be there at least once.
Well, you guys got a decent field.
Yeah, but they got the stands, like you said.
Yeah. Presentation.
I remember it was always Lincoln.
We played there in 21.
Lincoln was always winning.
Lincoln was good.
Yeah, Lincoln was good when I was in high school.
Lincoln's a tough team.
Did you go to school with what's this guy name? Chris Skies?
I know Chris Skies, yes.
Yeah.
Chris Skies? Yeah, he was
Sure,
nice
basketball.
and ball. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
Nice.
Chris.
Chris is nice.
He used to have the flat top. He had a little
Yeah.
separation in the teeth.
Chris Skies is
He would
nice.
always fly like, you know.
Yeah, he was definitely a ball legend.
Yeah.
Chris
was
Skies
nice.
is nice. Yeah. Yeah, man. Glad to see you. Glad you're from the
thanks,
same
man.
neighborhood.
Yes,
Yeah, man.
yes.
And the pizza shop.
San Remo.
San Remo's.
San Remo,
Or
Cortelli Road.
the bagel shop on Coney Island now.
I got a lasagna from them Friday night. So.
Lasagna?
Yes, sir.
Tell me you want a Lanberg special.
All right, I'll tell. Well,
That was my father, rest in peace. He died in August. That he'd always get like a lasagna with extra sauce.
I get a lasagna, extra cheese.
There you go.
They put ricotta cheese on there? Well, ricotta cheese is disgusting.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Peace, man.
Thank you for having me. Thanks for having me.
Peace.
Appreciate it.
unsportsmanlike conduct.